Hi guys, Debbie Dubois here. I am going to start doing a weekly reading. This weekly reading is going to be for Sunday, May 5th through Saturday, May 11th. And this is just because this is the first one I've done with this particular format. I just am going to go ahead and introduce the fact that the reason why I feel really called to do a weekly reading now is because of the fact that, some of you may know that I'm working with the Intuitive Oracle cards and I've been using them daily. And they're incredible for getting answers to questions that I want to know. And so I've been using them for about 2 months now. And I decided that it is time for me to start putting in the intuitive connection that I have and go back to one of the basic roots of how I started on YouTube and how I started in Facebook, which is talking about relationships, about higher self, about creative expression, and sharing some of the insights that I get through Source. These cards have an incredible way of tuning me into those energies, and so I want to share these readings on a weekly basis, as much as I can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for all of us, what does the coming week look like? Okay, this is a general, what does this coming week look like? It's a very general question, but it gives us an idea of the energies that we're going to be dealing with. Gives us an idea of, what do we need to look out for? What's just this general week going to look like for you? All right, I like to give it like 3 shuffles. And while I love the jumper cards, I actually prefer pulling this way because it allows me to focus more on the question that I'm asking. So the question is, what does the coming week look like for you? All right. The first card is the stalemate. Okay. Don't panic. We always have to look at all 3 cards together. Uh-oh. That's not a good card, but let's just take a look and not judge it. All right, it's a coffin card. Interesting. So, we have some interesting cards here. All right, I'm going to read these cards in my knowing, which is what I love about these cards and what I love about doing this reading every day for myself and for everybody. You may feel that you are in a place where there's no way out. You may feel very blocked. You may feel very, I want to say stuck a little bit. And it may be because of your own insistence on not wanting to compromise on something. You may feel that, there's no way out of the situation, that you have to stand your ground, and that you can't commit to moving forward on something because it doesn't feel right for you. And that may bring along feelings of loss. You may feel very discouraged and defeated, and you may even be convinced that this stalemate is a breakup of some kind. And that is the feeling that you might have when it comes to this stalemate card. How does the stalemate card make you feel? You may feel that things are not happening. It's inactive. Whatever is going on that you're thinking about right now is a bit discouraging. Let's face it. So what does this third card do to the coffin? Because we usually take the center card as the most important card in the reading, which is, you're feeling discouraged. You're feeling like there's a loss of something here. So the fox here is kind of the trickster. And I think that the trickster is a bit insincere here. In other words, you might not be seeing this situation the way it's really intended to be seen. This is how you're feeling. You might be feeling like the coffin, but the fox here indicates that might be tricking you. You might not need to feel that way. Okay? The fox is about doing routine work, being very disciplined, and And the word deceit kind of comes up. In other words, the fox makes me think that the coffin is how you're feeling, and the fox is trying to assure you you're only feeling this way. It's not necessarily true. So that is how you're feeling. So let's look at what you're doing this week. Okay, these are the feeling cards. Let's look at what you're doing this week. Okay, you got the key. I'll show you these cards in just a second. Interesting, you get the waterfall and the Milky Way. Okay, the Milky Way. All right, this is really cool. All right, so here you are feeling that way. But this is your solution, is to do something about it, right? The first card that you get is the solution key, the solution, the key to what you're trying to do. It's what you're trying to unlock. It's the liberty out of that coffin. Okay, so doing is very important this week. Now, what are you doing? Waterfall. Okay, so you are going to release the coffin energy. You're going to release it. You're going to, the word that's jumping out at me here is overflow. I want to say overthrow. That's what's coming to me. You're going to want to overthrow, with that solution being to do something about the coffin. So what do you do about the coffin? Look at this. Oh, sorry. Milky Way, network, market, social media, publicity. You want to connect yourself with others. You want to expand into a better place, because the coffin can be such a separate, you know, it's like you're separated off, and that's this stalemate, right? You're separated off from everything. You're keeping yourself away from, you're blocked. The answer is action and what you do about it. The key and the solution is to allow your emotions the way you have them and get out there and get more social. Okay? So that's what the coming week looks like for you. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at, I'm going to put these cards right up here because these kind of go together. And we'll see how they play, the overall energies play into this. Now, what is the energy right now between you and your primary love interest? And this can be a twin flame, this can be a soulmate, this can be a karmic partner, whatever relationship you're focused on right now. What is the energy between you right now? Because relationships move us forward on this journey. All the relationships we have do. But so many of us are very, very focused on love and relationship. And it doesn't always have to be just the one person. It can be whoever you're interacting with right now. So what is the energy right now between you and your love interest? Interesting. We've got the Tower card, just sort of standing alone. But we also just got the Twin Flame Soulmate card. Okay. And interesting. Gardens. Okay. I kind of already pick up on what this is about. Okay. First of all, the middle card being the most important card in the reading, or the most emphasis, is this is about your significant other. This is about the one that you feel the most for. Okay. This is about that one that you are so simpatico with, the one that you are true oneness with. Okay, and it doesn't have to be a twin. If you are not a twin, or you are in a soulmate relationship, this just indicates that it's the primary love relationship in your life, being in the center. Okay. Right here, standing right next to the Tower card, means you might be standing in your own power right now. Okay? You might be wrapped up in your own thing, your own, where we see government and corporate and institutions. I think of that as being in your own council right now. You are running your own show. You are getting guidance from within yourself. Okay? You are the institution. You are the one that's standing alone. And that is kind of where you are right now with this relationship. And it probably is because you are dealing with other people this week. So we're talking about, you could either be doing events where you have to be there. You are, you have like maybe, for example, school's ending. Maybe you have, what do you want to call it, graduation parties that you're planning, or maybe there's a wedding that you're involved in. You're standing quite alone because you've got some enterprising things going on of your own. So the energy between you is probably, I want to say, because this card, sorry, shows up in the primary position. I would say the energy between you is probably pretty good, whether you're in contact or not. The energy between you is good, meaning that the person is, in a good alignment with you, and you are in a pretty good, comfortable alignment with them. But you have other stuff going on right now. All right, you've got other stuff going on right now. And it means maybe the energy is kind of just stable. All right, that's what I'm going to go with. The energy between you is probably very stable because you're focused on yourself right now. Now, let's ask, how does your love interest feel about you right now? While you're doing all of your stuff, let's see, how does he feel? Kind of answered that, didn't I? Okay, the first card is the White Wolf. And then we get the House, a beautiful card. And then the Man. Okay, so this is saying this is a love interest. This is, either the boyfriend, the spouse, the love interest, the man you're talking about. Okay. The central card is House and Home. Okay. So I think I was just getting confirmation of what I was picking up on with that Swans card, which is he's feeling at home with you. In other words, he's not feeling threatened or worried that you're not going to be together. He's feeling pretty secure. He's feeling comfort, roots. He knows you're there. Okay. Tradition, he may be focused on his current situation and his current family, but he is feeling very comfortable. The question is, how does your love interest feel about you right now? Very comfortable. All right. And that is backed up by the Man. So we got a card that confirms that's who we're talking about. Okay. Now, this is also combined with the White Wolf. All right, let's see if we can show that. Sorry. All right, so the White Wolf is inner knowing, traveling a lonely path. Okay? So this person that you're inquiring about knows you're the home that they want. But guess what? They know it's time right now to do their inner knowing. They're traveling the lonely path. But it's okay because they know that everything's okay with you. Home is there. Okay, so those are those cards. All right. Sometimes the camera blurs a little bit. There we go. We got a better view. All right. Let's see. What does my love interest, you might ask yourself. Well, I'll ask it a different way. What does your love interest want from you right now? What does your love interest want from you right now? Huh? You? That's one answer. We've got the Moon card. Okay, see that? And what other card? We got Mercury. Okay, that's the Magician in the Tarot. Okay. So let's see. What does your love interest want from you right now? Well, They want you to recognize and feel the energy of the divine feminine and the sensuality that you are. Okay? They want you to fantasize about them. They want you to be in that romantic space. That's what they want. They want you to be thinking of them in this way. Even though they're on that lonely path, they kind of hope and wish that you're dreaming about them. Okay? Now, Mercury. Okay, let me see here. The type of communications. Okay, interesting. Electronics, expression, processes, curious. I wouldn't be surprised if they were wishing that you would reach out. And the reason why I say that is because we're talking about communications. All right. Yeah. They're dreaming that you will. I want to say that the information that I'm getting, though, is that doesn't necessarily mean that's what the cards are telling you is to do what they want. It's like, what do they want from you right now? They might be fantasizing a little bit about the fact that you could communicate with them and they would just get to spend some time with you. And look at it, it says electronics. And they want to have, the wit and the interaction, and they're curious about what you're doing. And that's a fantasy that they're having. And it's emphasized by the fact that we have you, the woman, right there with that idea. But I want to come back to this card right now. What's the energy, or how do they feel about you right now? They know that this is where they're supposed to be. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure there's no sheen on the card. They know that they're on the lonely path. They are on the inner knowing path. All right. So because we've got that, and the house is actually about boundaries too. Okay, boundaries. Just because that's what they want from you doesn't necessarily mean that's what you should do because they want you to. Do you understand? So that's the information that's coming on those cards. I'm going to ask now, what should you focus on to benefit your connection? Okay? Like, what should you be doing? Should you do anything? Should you initiate? What should you be doing? And of course, everybody has to go in their own knowing as to what you do. This is just guidance that Source is giving us in general, and you always have to follow your own knowing about what you're supposed to do in any situation. So just remember that it's my warning, if you will. All right. So focus on happiness and harmony. All right, this is the first card. This is the bouquet. All right, well, let's look at some other cards. Okay, Uranus is the ruler of enlightenment. So we'll read a little bit into that. That's the central card. Okay, and we did get a mountain. Okay, so let's read these together. And something just tipped over. Interesting. You know what? My Ascended Masters book just tipped over. I think that before this reading is done, I'm going to pull an Ascended Master card. Okay, so let's look again at what should you be focusing on to benefit your connection. The thing, and this is the ruler of enlightenment, the Uranus card, is the tarot. Is the Fool in the tarot. Okay. So what should you be focused on, which will improve your connection? And I would say that's being your own person. And it's funny because isn't that the cards that show up in the beginning? We feel discouraged. We feel, like some things are, not going our way and we feel like there's a breakup here or things are inactive. But the solution is to become more social, to allow all of this feeling to come out, maybe share it with other people. It's time to unlock that you have. Well, here's the Fool card basically saying, take a leap of faith. Go ahead and be original. Go do something for your individuality. There's change, and it could be, crazy change. Disrupt the patterns, disrupt that coffin, shake it up, go jump on a trampoline. I mean, sometimes that's as simple as doing that. So that's what you focus on for your connection. And if we pair that with the bouquet, what is that for? It's for you to go into a place of gratitude. It's for you to go to a place of happiness, harmony. Look at the gift of the time that you get to spend with yourself in this innovative state, in this individual state. All right? Let that bring forth happy, warm, glowing feelings. And I've said this just recently, gratitude is the best state of being to be in if you want to experience what love feels like. Because love is being grateful for everything that happens to us. So gratitude is a strong word. Now, in this period of time, we also have the mountain, okay? And the mountain, if you look back at the stalemate, right? So this is another reflection of something that's blocking you, something that's a barrier to where you want to be, okay? This is the obstacle. So it does seem that you're going to need to overcome that coffin and that stalemate, right? Because it's not being honest with you. It's basically not telling you the truth. The circumstances, in other words, you're telling yourself stories, and whatever stories you're telling yourself to create that feeling are not true. But it is an obstacle for you to overcome. And how do you do that? You become the fool. You take a leap of faith out of that, right? You take a leap of faith out of that energy and you become something else. So that is that. All right. Now, what is your love interest dealing with this week? Let's ask that question. What is your love interest dealing? We get the Phoenix. My voice is a little gravelly today, and I apologize for that. I think that the pollen's getting me a little bit. So transformation. That's a really cool card, right? Oh, okay. They're spending some time alone. Isn't that funny? Because that goes right along with what we got with the white wolf. So spending some time alone. Oops. And again, every once in a while, I'm going to let that center back in. There we go. Now you can read it. All right. And what is the third card? Oh, interesting. We got the Rider. All right. Just going to give you a quick glance of the Rider. Let's talk about these cards now. Okay. So what we have here is the overall energy in the center is the Moose, which means they're in a powerfully independent position, spending time alone. Okay. This is protecting either you or them and the ones they love, which is either you or say their family or whatever their situation is. If they're not, with you, if they're with you, they're protecting you and you are their loved one. But they could be protecting you anyways, even if they're not in a situation like that with you. But what they're doing is they're actually completing or moving through this higher phase of the catalytic heart awakening, which is the term that I literally was given, a number of years ago to replace twin flame, the twin flame relationship. I was given catalytic heart awakening. I was really thrilled to see this on the cards that Aria designed because This is what I think all of those relationships are. It doesn't matter what it is. We are going through catalytic heart awakening. So this is what he is doing. He or she, sorry. This is what your love interest is doing. They are going through the complete transformation. They're in the midst of it. This is that process. And they're having to do it alone. They have to do it alone. So that's what that moose is saying. They have to do it alone. And it's protective of everything. Now, this card here says it's happening pretty fast. Sorry. There we go. Movement, travel, news, green light, progress, right? So there you go. You've got a lot of progress being made on that front. Very, very good news and very positive. All right. The last thing that we're going to ask is, what does your higher self want you to know for this week? And I'm sure that the higher self, because we are dealing with a whole host of information, the higher self is probably going to want to reach into all of those cards to read this, but we're going to go ahead and pull. We've got the King of Water, which is a Cancer card. Cancer, cardinal sign of water. And this is talking about the 1 to 3 month period of time. Okay, then we got the snowflake. A snowflake. And I'm going to grab this card right off the end. Okay. Clouds, thoughts, problems. Okay, let's look at these cards. This is what your higher self wants you to know for the coming week. All right? The delicate situation that you find yourself in for this week, whatever it may be, requires you to pay attention to the details. If you're facing a delicate situation, it has purpose, it has meaning, there is a reason for it, and it is absolutely perfect to show up at this time. Okay, it's done by design. It is supposed to be there. Now, reading that with the clouds, I would say that the thoughts that you are having, the doubts that you are having, the confusion that you're having is something that you must overcome, okay? And you can see that the sun on the other side of the clouds is shining on the snowflake. So basically what it's saying is that this period of time, this working through these thoughts and problems, and that's probably where, we have this card here, this coffin card. This is the thoughts and the problems that create the coffin card. It's in your head. It's in the thoughts that you think. It's in your confusion about situations. But you are being given, an opportunity to literally delve into that delicate situation and perfect it. Okay. This indicates that that this is the cancer sign here. It could mean that this is a period of time that you're going to kind of go through within the next 1 to 3 months, right, into the summer. But it's also a period of time where you need to be really nurturing of yourself. Okay? You need to be able to stay in that feeling place, that I want to say, well, the word sitting right there is sentimental, but I'm thinking more of a word. The contemplative probably describes what I'm thinking most, is that allow yourself to be in this reverie so that you can deal with the delicate situation that's before you. And I really think that this delicate situation, in my own knowing, is the cards that we started off with, which is you've got this death card going on, the coffin. All right. It's really just your feelings, how you're feeling. The stalemate is how you're feeling, right? And that you have to remember that it's not real. Okay, it's not real. It's insincere. It's deceitful. It's not the true thing. So your goal here, the solution, literally, the solution is to allow the emotions to come forth and to connect with others, like the Milky Way card right here. You want to connect with others. You want to get more connected, and you want to get out of that energy, by feeling it, allowing it. That's what the waterfall is about. And this card here that came up that says everything's okay. This card came up. What's the energy right now? We're sitting here with the twin flame card. Things are good. Things are fine. It just means that right now we're in a period where we're doing some alone work. Does that make sense? And to remember that you are the house and the home to your beloved. You are that person. And they think of you that way. But right now, they're in the white wolf place. They need to pretty much stand by themselves and go into their own knowing, because they are transforming into the phoenix, right? This is the transformation card. They're going through the complete renewal through the catalytic card awakening. Okay. And they need to do that alone. That comes out really clear. But the encouragement is, right? It's moving quickly. It's moving. There's a green light on it. There's progress. And that is so much the important part. So when these things come up, your job is to let it go. To not think so much. To not try to understand. To just allow. Because that's where I was getting at, is this contemplative. It's almost the energy of this is a dreamy kind of energy. Okay? It's it's a little bit less like gotta solve problems. We don't need to solve any problems. There are no problems to solve. All there is letting go of this. Letting go of these problems that we see or that we feel in our head, which is coming from these cards. That's the challenge. That's what the higher self says. Just do it. So that, my sweet friends, is my reading for Sunday, May 5th through Saturday, May 11th. And I hope you enjoyed this reading. I love working with these cards. Oh, before I do that, I am going to reach for my Ascended Master deck, and I'm going to see if an Ascended Master has anything to say for us or to us. And I'll let a card pop out. Because when that manual little booklet fell over, it's like, okay, Ascended Masters have something that they want to say. Let's just see what it is. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, I get it. We've got Melchizedek, spiritual law of attraction. Okay. Immediately what comes to mind is you will draw to you the energy that you put forth. So if you allow yourself to stay in this coffin stage, if you allow yourself to stay in that negative doom and gloom place, the place where you feel like there's no way out, you'll attract that kind of energy this week. So go really hard at trying to shift that energy. Jump on a trampoline. Go for a walk. Call up some good friends. Get yourself out there. Interact with people on social media that you hadn't talked to in a while. Get out there and get reconnected, and boost your energy levels, because when you do that, you're going to draw to you a lot more positive energy. So Melchizedek speaks to us. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll be back next week. And thank you so much for listening. I would love it if you would like this post and share it to social media if you feel so inclined. And subscribe if you haven't yet. So Thank you, and I hope you have a very, very blessed week.